All right. Thank you guys so much for coming. If you're just popping in, my name is Taylor with Scott Leroy Marketing. Today we're going over what's new with Command. We haven't necessarily done this class for a while, so bear with me. Feel free as we go to throw any questions you have in the chat, and I'm going to do my best to watch that and answer questions as we go along. I'll revisit at the end of class if we have time, any questions I might have missed. You can also email us at support@scottleroymarketing.com. If I don't answer your questions or if you think of it later. If I pause randomly, just know I'm probably letting someone else in from the waiting room. So that is going to be just a little bit. Okay, I think we're all set now. So we're going to start by logging into Command. Going to agent.kw.com. We're going to enter our username, which usually has something to do with our name, maybe some numbers, but that can vary. This field is not case sensitive, so it doesn't matter if you have capitals or not. And then password obviously is case sensitive. You're going to enter that and we'll get signed in. All righty, so once you're in, you'll have your main dashboard and you can customize what this looks like, but you also have a section you can customize home. And I have everything selected, but I like looking at product updates. This is another area where you can see what recent improvements KW made to the system. You can also see what's coming next. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on my screen. And we're going to actually start with the website. Mine is pretty boring, but I'm going to go over setting a lead capture. So if people are visiting your website, you have the ability to set how many properties people are allowed to look at before they get a pop-up that requires them to enter their information. So on the consumer tab, which is the last icon on the left, we're going to go to site and app settings. And registration is on this general section for property limits. So you can set it for unrestricted, 10 properties, 2 properties, or none. So it's up to you which one you want. We typically see 2 properties being kind of a general in the middle. So people can look at 2 properties on your website before they're being asked to register. You can save those changes. It may take up to 24 hours for your site to show. My site isn't actually set up very well, so I'm not going to use it. But now, when people are looking for properties and setting their search, they'll have the option to look at 2 homes. For those of you that are just popping in, we just set a lead capture limit for the website. So under the consumer tab, under site and app settings and general, you have this registration section. So that's one of the updates that we've seen recently, that we get questions asked. All right, the other thing that we've seen is collections. So here, this allows agents to create a public collection of listings that your clients can receive if they're registered on your consumer either app or website. So if they've created a login on your branded app or on your website, you can set up search parameters here. So if we create a collection, we gotta name it. And maybe you want to add your client name as to who this is going to be pushed to. And set our parameters. So we have Cornelius, Oregon. Ooh. No more or no less than 2 bedrooms, 2 bath. Whatever your clients are looking for. So I'm making this with a specific client in mind. But you can also make this general for your area, so you can push it to multiple clients. Once you apply, oh, looks like I made it a little too specific. And then you have all of these properties. You can select all of them. Maybe you want to filter which ones your client might be interested. Even with these parameters, you want to look through them. Then you can create the collection. And now we can assign contacts. So I have one person that's registered with my app. So that's why I only have one contact here. But if I select that and assign, now this client will get notified on my version of their app or on the website when they're logged in for these listings that I'm showing them. So again, as long as you have people that have registered on the app, this is where the collections are applicable. So I can't just assign this collection to a contact in my database that hasn't registered. Like if I wanted to send this to a different client, they haven't created a login for my app, I'm going to need a different way of sending them this information, or I'm going to tell them about, I can push this to you through my app if you download it. So a couple different options, but this is one thing that another one we get asked often, like what this is and why it won't go to everyone in my database. So I wanted to touch on that as well. I'm going to also show you guys, there's a new mortgage calculator that was recently updated that's available. We can help add this to your website if you don't have it already. And we have other YouTube videos, usually on our website classes, on how to add this, but I'm going to show you guys as well. I'm going to go through it real quick, how to add it. So again, we have other classes, don't necessarily let that stick. As to if I'm going really fast, I'm trying to cover a lot of new updates. Again, we can revisit at the end of class if I go too quickly and you still have questions. But I'm going to create a new page on my agent site. And the first thing I'm going to do is add one of these widgets because one of them is required on each page. And download the KW app is the smallest, so that's typically what we'd like to use for this. And then I'm going to add a text box. And the code that I'm about to paste in this text box is available in our website 201 notes. So now this is the new calculator that is available to you. So we've just basically embedded that into a text box here. So now on your website, once it is saved, I'm going to save that, add my mortgage calculator page. So letting people in. There we go. So now on my website, anyone visiting my site can plug in any of this information while looking for properties. Looks like in the chat, where do you get the link for mortgage calculator? We have it available. I will post it in the chat for you right now, but you can also find it if you go to our website. I think it's our 201 class on YouTube. There's actually a note with a lot of different resources like this. So that's the link to embed the mortgage calculator onto your website. Alrighty, so the next area that I want to touch on is actually going to be campaigns. We've seen lately with email campaigns that there is an issue when creating the campaign. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. We're going to create a campaign and go to email. We select our design. Let's say I haven't fixed my email here. And I'm just going to select one of the templates I already have. The screen shows up blank. So no edits can be made. KWRI is aware of this issue and they're working on it. However, I'm going to show you guys a workaround. So if you close and discard those changes, it keeps the template. So we recommend first creating your email in Designs. We're going to create email. I'm going to just start from blank. Legal header, legal footer. That way my compliance is taken care of. And then I'm just going to add an image. Let's pretend like this is what I want to email out. So once I've saved everything and this is ready to go out, I'm going to save my template. Save changes. So now what's ready to go out is saved in Designs. I'm going to go back to Campaigns, Emails, create my email. Select my design. So here's that email that we just created that's ready to go. Again, we're going to select it. It looks like everything is blank and cleared, but if you close and discard changes, it saves all of the things that you just made in Designs. So unfortunately, there isn't a way with the current glitch to create the campaign first and then edit your design. But if you edit the design first, get it ready to go, then you can have that workaround for throwing it into a campaign. This is another common request that we get from people. So I wanted to touch on that as well. This one might not be as big, but I'm going to touch on it as well. I did see that for tasks, I think this was even updated this week or last week, there's no longer contact versus opportunity tags or tasks, excuse me. There used to be two different sections. Now all of your tasks are under one, whether they're reaching out to someone in your database to make contact. So a reminder to call, maybe a reminder to put a birthday card in the mail, whatever it is, whatever your task is that was set up based on your smart plan, or you just set up a reminder on your contacts. That will show up here, as well as you'll see this is linked to an opportunity, which is, it might be really hard to see because the icon is really little. But this is the widget icon that matches over here for opportunities, the handshake. So that's how it differentiates. If this was a contact task, then it's going to show the contacts icon. There is another issue we've seen where Facebook ads are failing or you're receiving errors. So if you're trying to create a paid ad and you're receiving an error that, oh gosh, I can't even remember the proper words for what the error says, but something along the line of you have a connection error or you're not the admin on the account. We've seen a handful of different verbiage depending on the account. Because Facebook is constantly doing updates to their end, that may affect the connection to command on this end. So when that happens, we recommend clearing the API connection, which I don't have a valid business page. So unfortunately, I can't directly show you guys. However, if you go to our YouTube channel, so if you go to YouTube and search Scott Leroy Marketing, you're going to find our whole channel where all of our classes are uploaded. We have quick tip videos on certain things. If you don't want to watch a whole class, you can use the search function. So if you're looking for a specific topic, and I am going to be more familiar with the verbiage for certain videos like resetting API. But you can look if you're looking for like direct mailer walkthroughs or how to connect your business page to Facebook. Like you can just search whatever keyword you're looking for and find pretty much any video that you think you could possibly find. And if you're having a hard time finding it, you can always email us and we'll either make it if we don't have it, or we'll send you different resources if it's already there. But for clearing API, this video right here, Tech Tip Reset API through Facebook. This video in the last 2 weeks has been sent out more than I think any of our other videos for people who are having problems with Facebook ads. So you can always do, here's our main 3 troubleshooting things: disconnect and reconnect within command, resetting the API through Facebook, and this video walks you through that. And once you've done those 2 things, we recommend recreating the ad entirely, unfortunately. So if you are walking through this ad and are receiving that error, even if you were to duplicate the campaign, the error will still remain within because it was created without the new connection from what we've seen. So we do not recommend duplicating. We recommend completely recreating, which is annoying, depending on how much time, but you could always try to open like this one on one screen and then open another incognito window. This kind of thing, and like copy and paste. So that part shouldn't take as long if you're recreating it. But those are kind of the main errors or questions that we see lately about what's new, how do these work, that kind of thing. I'm also going to show you guys, I know we just kind of did our command stuff. I talked about our YouTube channel. I'm also going to show you our website because a lot of agents don't realize that there's resources on our website. We're not just, I mean, obviously you guys are here on class right now, so you guys know that we have classes and those kinds of things, but we don't just help with onboarding. So you can log in over here on the right-hand side. And the password for our website is actually just the market center that you're with. That's going to tailor the services that are available. So you can just log in using your market center number. And now you have access to all of the resources. So under agent resources, under training is our training calendar. So you can always come here to see what classes are happening. And this is set up in Eastern time. So if you're in a different area, you're going to want to customize that for what time you try to log on. But you can also download our specific flyer for whatever time zone you're in. So this goes over classes on Mondays and which day it is, Tuesdays and which day of the month it's going to be. So that kind of thing. And you can download that and keep it. You can also add this to your Google Calendar. So if you log in, let's see if I remember my password. Oh, look at that. And I'm going to go to my calendar. Oops. Coming back here. In the bottom right-hand corner is a little plus Google Calendar option. And it's going to walk you through setting this up. Add the calendar. And now you can select whether or not you want to look at our calendar. So if you're just looking at yours, obviously mine's boring. But you can add our calendar here. So if you'd rather look in one spot rather than visiting our website to see what classes you have or what classes are going on, you also have a direct link to our Zoom. So that can be super helpful. The other thing on our website, there's also an overview of all of our classes, at least the more common ones that are taught every month. Under agent resources, you have agent support. This is a plethora of services that you can reach out to us for. So you have setup for different things. If you need help importing your database, this will take you to a form that'll ask for your information and send over your database to us so we can help format that and import it for you into Command. You have all of these as well. So if you're leaving a team, but staying with KW, so you need your marketing stuff updated, we can help with that. If you want a export of your database, there's a form for that. Update your headshot throughout the KW platforms, update your bio, reset your password. Like there's a ton of different like quick forms. If you'd rather do this, then send an email that we then have to follow up with any information. These forms should ask you for whatever it is we're going to need. And then that sends it over. We get it done and let you know once it's finished. website services, different pages that we can add for you. We do have some sections here for compliance updates that we can help with. And then this here is a section for the KW leadership, so staff. But we do have a section specifically for them. We do have some templates available. You can also come here for our recorded training classes. So if you don't want to search on YouTube, we may have some here. Also under training, we have challenges. So SLM challenges. A lot of new agents will hear about our 30-day challenges or our jumpstart challenges. You can come here for those and it will walk you through. So each one has its own. You can get a printable version here. So these are designed to help get you familiar with the system. Depending on which challenge you choose, obviously this one is going to be based on command and getting familiar with that. But we do have other ones. We have one for getting started. So this is just getting started in real estate. So if you're new, these are kind of checkpoints for updating your profiles, getting everything set up, not necessarily just command, but a ton of other resources. And then same thing here, DocuSign. If you're jumpstarting a team. Or another, kind of getting more familiar with our site and our resources. All right, there is a question in the chat. Is it best to use incognito mode when working with command agent.kw website? We recommend it simply because if there are updates being made to the system on the back end by KW support, incognito will typically help make sure, like, revert to an older version while it's being worked on. So you typically see less errors, but that's entirely up to you as to if you work in incognito. I have a tendency to do it, especially while teaching, so that none of my other work resources will pop up and make noise and that kind of thing. But we do typically recommend, if you're in Google Chrome and receiving errors, try incognito. Or if you're working in Firefox, which is another, Chrome and Firefox are kind of the two web browsers that we see work best with the KW platforms. If you are having issues in Firefox as well, receiving errors, that kind of thing, try private mode. So those are kind of our two like web browser issues. We've seen a lot of issues with other web browsers throwing errors that don't really make sense, that not a lot of agents are seeing, that kind of thing. So yeah. All right, guys, that was kind of it for my agenda. For my list on what we're seeing recently and what updates we're seeing in the system. How do we get into incognito mode? So if you open a Chrome browser, the dots, ignore the fact that I need to do an update. The three dots on the right-hand side, you can do a new incognito tab if you're already in it, or if you are, I don't know if you can see my pop-up on my Mac, but if you go to the Google Chrome bar, you can just, or sorry, icon, you can just open a new incognito window if you right click. All right, guys, I'm going to give you permission to hop off if you don't have any other questions. I'm gonna, stick around in case there's some questions that pop in. But again, feel free to hop off. You get 15 minutes of your day back that you didn't anticipate. And I'm again gonna throw in our email. If I can type. There we go. I just threw our support email in the chat. If you wanted to take that down, you can email us with any questions you have, and we'll be happy to take a look at your system so we can answer your question if you think something's happening, or if you're not sure and we need to take a look. Or we can send you any resources if you're wanting to do things yourself. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. Again, feel free to hop off. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.